Are you a woman over 40 struggling with your health? Maybe you know you should cut back on the sweet drinks and the fast food. But with prices going up, eating healthy feels impossible. But here's the truth. External factors like inflation, unexpected bills, or family demands, they aren't going away. The real question is, how do you rise above them instead of feeling stuck or hopeless? That's why today I'm talking with Dakota Grady, the number one money coach for Black women over 40. He's going to share simple shifts that makes it easier to invest in your health and your future. So stick around to the end because these mindset shifts can literally change the way you approach your finances and your health.
Yeah, I know that you started your YouTube channel, Your Money Hour Show, for a while. Is there a reason, particular reason that you decided that you want to help Black women with their finances and how to build wealth? Is there a particular, say, a personal experience or some kind of situation that you encountered that you decided that this is my particular target audience?
Well, I mean, I was on YouTube years ago, but I didn't really know the power of YouTube until about maybe
Yeah.
3 years ago. And YouTube has a reach, so I want to reach more people. So I want to get my message out to help people, but specifically Black women, because Black women are the ones who support me, whether it be a book signing or a
Okay. I get
course.
you. I get you. I
They
get
support
you.
me, right? So I'm like, why not focus on them? Now
You got, yeah, you got to look out the persons that support you. Makes sense.
right. So I mean, like, why not focus on that niche?
And you grow up obviously in a Black home or whatever. So your family members as well. So you are concerned in terms of how they go about their finances. But we all know that the reality is that it seems like a lot of Black persons seem to be struggling financially. So do you or can you pinpoint if there's any particular issue within how we do things as a Black community that causes us to be struggling in this area?
Let me share a quick story. So I know a family of 9 had 2
Okay.
parents and 70 children, right? So that family struggled. The mom and dad, they didn't make a lot of money. They worked jobs and they did the best they could do. The family was on
Right.
welfare, right? So they struggled.
Right.
That family was my family. My mom and dad had 7 kids. We grew up struggling
Wow.
welfare. And the stats show me right here, according to the TIA Health Institute, 34% of Blacks correctly answered their personal finance index questions back in 2023. So that means 66% of people who are Black answered the questions wrong. So the first issue is we don't know how to handle finances, 1. 2, according to Harvard University, 45.3% of Black households own homes in 2022 compared to 74% of whites. So, secondly, we don't own stuff, right? And third, the McKinsey Institute says 43% of Black workers are in jobs that pay less than $30,000 annually. So, we don't know how to handle finances. We make low wages and we don't own stuff. That's the recipe for struggle. That makes sense?
And like you said, you grow up in this family. You know exactly the struggles, how it is, growing up in a family in terms of in terms of how to make ends meet. Is there a particular thing that you can pinpoint even within your as you look at your parents, that internal barriers that stop them from progressing to the level that they should? I know that because I believe that they did their best, the best that they know how. So is obviously there was some kind of barrier there or issue that they needed to overcome that trying to overcome based on the struggles that you saw.
Well, they knew how to handle money because they used to borrow money from me. But the thing was, they didn't want my help. Like my mom specifically told me that she didn't want to save money. I'm like, say again? Like, yeah, she didn't want to save money. So I'm like, I can't help you there if you don't want help. So I think it's because they were my parents. They don't listen to me because I'm younger. So I,
I get
I
you. I
think it's a
get you.
mindset.
Yeah, because I could say one thing for sure for me. My mother and my my father, especially my mom. She taught me from an early age how to save. I think around 11 years old or so that she encouraged me to got us to open a bank account, and every I think the end of every month she would give us like an allowance and encourage us to save part of that. So I mean, like, this is something that I have been practicing. My mother ingrained in me like from young, like just setting aside money every month, and not spending everything. And then she would say like around Christmas, she's like, money you save you can use to spend on something you want, but for like every time we had an allowance, she would tell us to set aside money to save. So I feel like that's one thing I can say that my mother helped me with. The only thing that she wasn't able to help me with in terms of investment, because she did admit like that's not an area I'm good at. But when it comes to saving, when it comes to like, delay, like what we call delay gratification, because my mother taught me, not everything you want that you need to, get acquired. Sometimes you gotta know your priorities. Those are things like I grew up seeing my mother, really practice. Like I know, like sometimes she must be like had me so vexed because I felt like she could afford to buy certain things. You're like, and all she was saying, like, not no, not no. We will, save up for later. And I was like, why? It's not like we are a poor family, but I mean, all those little things. Although I didn't see it then, I realized that she was just trying to teach me principles in terms of management. So I learned a lot from her from that. And I guess a lot of us Black people, we don't grow up in homes that actually teach us, and that's probably why we are ignorant. I think it's the Bible that says God's people perish for a lack of knowledge.
That's very true. But
Yeah.
now it's like we have no excuses. Like information is
Yes.
basically everywhere on our phones,
Yes.
laptops,
Yes. Yes.
tablets,
Yes.
on our
Yes.
watches.
Yes. Information is theirs.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, what is it then? Because, like you said, we don't have an excuse. The information is readily available in terms of how we can change our spending habits and things like that. But it's like it is easier said than done, right? You can, you know what to do, but it's the implementation part. So, is there any other things that you think that could be hindering us from moving from that place of knowing? To actually implementing.
I think it's a mindset. Have a mindset of scarcity. Like there isn't enough
Right.
for us, but actually we have an abundance around us. Like
Yeah.
if you're a follower of
Yeah.
Christ, like God he's a God of abundance, not of scarcity.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you gotta
Right.
change your
Right.
mindset. But if you grew up in a low income neighborhood like I did, I didn't see many people who look like me who were thriving, but
Mm.
I didn't let myself stay there. I didn't have to stay stuck in the past because I didn't see something that I aspired to or should aspire to. But now it's like I don't have any excuses. So it's
Yeah.
about your mindset and then also having that desire, having that deep desire in your heart to do whatever it takes to make life better. I mean, it's up to you. It's your life. Like I didn't learn about finances in school. I graduated high school and I didn't know how to write a check. Like a check is something you use nowadays, like or we use back in the day. I don't know about it now, but something you
Yeah. Yeah.
wrote
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
cash and take it to the bank and get money.
I get you. I get you.
For those who don't know what
Yeah.
check is, but yeah, I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
learn, but my background is what really scarred me and wanted me to want better. It was a scar. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't ever want to go back there again, ever again.
I
Seriously.
know. I mean, I watch people and it's not easy. It's not easy. I think can see like sometimes just wondering this in terms of decision people make. But when you're in that scarcity mindset, that's a serious thing. I mean, like um, you just don't want to give. You just want to hold on to things. That to me is a real scary place to be on. For me, like even like trying to move past where I was, because like I said, I didn't grow up in a poor, home, and we were like kind of middle class. But I feel I wanted to go to another level, and even to try to break through to get through to that another level. Um, to me, like mindset. Ooh, it's like certain things. It's like you don't realize how this thing is ingrained in you, your way of thinking. So when you begin to read in terms of like how the how the rich thinks and their mindset, in terms of even business and investing, the amount of faith that they have, I mean, like that was real uncomfortable for me, and it's still something that I'm trying to overcome and learn. So it's like after being operating in a certain way of thinking like for so much years, is now to try to move past it is a real struggle. It's a real struggle, and I totally get it when people tell me, I can't afford. But I guess it's like, how do you help people to move past that mindset? And like you said, it has to be that determination, that vision to say, you know what, I don't want to go back there. I see better ahead. I don't want to go back there, and that determination. I don't think that we really determined enough. We don't want it bad enough. We want more, but we don't want to do what it takes to get, the more that we are looking for. That's probably the hard thing there, because you know what? It's so easy to blame people, right? It's so easy to blame persons for your situations. You say the government, the cost of living, but at some point in time, it's like we gotta take responsibility for us.
And that's the
I
thing.
think, yeah.
I mean, you have to take responsibility for your life, and then also get a guide or a coach to help
Right.
you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because you're the hero of your story, but we all need a guide. I mean, looking about the different movies, for the most part, you see a guy. Say you've seen the movie Lord of the Rings. You got Frodo trying to get to one of the. He's trying to basically take the ring to the bad guys, right? Trying to keep him from
Right,
destroying the
right.
world, but he needed help. He got Gandalf, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
all need that. You're a health coach, so you help people guide them with their health. I help people guide them with their finances. So we all need help in some areas. And that's why we need each other, so we can help lift each other out of being stuck.
I get you. I think that's so important. I think, like for me, that was the changing point for me when I got a coach. I knew that it was important, but I didn't know like the real impact it can have until like, when you got somebody that think different than you. Oh my gosh, it's so mind blowing. I can't even explain it. Like it's just it's like you are accustomed thinking things through in a certain way, but then you realize like somebody else that at a higher level, how they think is like, wow. It's just be so amazed, like the perspective that they have, and somebody able to guide you through that. I feel like that was real life changing for me, helping me to really change my limiting belief. Like I
Mm.
say, it's still a struggle sometimes, because even though you connected with someone that operate at a different level, when you come back to your environment, that's it. Environment is so important. When you come back to people around you that still thinking scarcity, whoa, it's like, whoa, this is just, oh my gosh, why can't I remain in that other environment? Because it's just hard to continue to think the way you should think, especially when you are a wrong person that doesn't do that. So environment is key. And I think that's why persons still continue to struggle, because if you're in an environment where you want better for yourself, you're trying to improve your spending habits and stuff like that. You go back to people, you are living around people that just as they get money they just spend, they're not thinking about tomorrow or the future. Then it's difficult.
That's
So
very
yeah,
true.
I like,
The,
yeah,
the
that like
environment
say
helps
coaching,
too.
like you said.
Yeah, the environment helps
Getting a
because if
coach.
you are in a higher level, you come back
Mm-hmm.
down. You gotta keep your mindset here, but live here, right? And
Right,
elevate your
right,
life
right.
up to that level where your mind is.
Yes, 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 yes. That's so important. I know you mentioned in one of the things, your book, the mistakes people make is like we don't teach what we, well, if you don't know, you can't teach. You think about it, but I think the first, like you said, the first thing is to empower yourself. Get a coach to learn what you need to learn to get out this limiting mindset, and then being able to teach. your children the principle that they need so that they won't struggle like you did. Like I always tell, when I'm talking to my clients, is like, this health thing is worth figuring out. You understand what I mean? It's not only about it's about your future generation, and like, for you, it's like finance. This finance thing is worth figuring out. This ain't only about you. This is the future generation. So that's why you say you have to have that vision in mind. If you don't have that vision in mind in terms of the future, your legacy that you want to leave, you will, just continue to be contented with being at where you're at and not, necessarily do what it takes to move forward. Yeah, because like I said, it's worth figuring it out. Look, we struggle too long. What you want continue to struggle, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's easy to blame everybody, but we gotta stop. We gotta come to a point where we say, like, nah, we can't continue to see it as, it's their fault or this, I mean, we have to begin to, take responsibility. Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah. 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 So is there anything else that you want to add that, to help persons that are struggling in this area? I know, like I said, this is important because yes, finance is important, but also in terms of healthy living is important. And if you don't got your finance right, then it's going to be difficult for you to even focus on your health. Because then you'll be
Right.
thinking about the light bill, the whatever bills you got, the phone bill, whatever bills you have, the mortgage and stuff like that, the student loans. Oh my goodness, some people, really struggling in that area. You're going to be thinking about all these things, and then obviously you're going to put your health last. So, what other things are encouragement you want to give to person, even to help them, move past that limiting belief?
Yeah, so our health and our finances go hand in hand. If you have bad health, right, and you're gonna spend all your money on the doctor's visits, on co-pays, on meds, on labs, you're gonna spend all your money. So you're like, wow, am I broke? Because you spend all your money on the doctor bills. That's why you're broke.
Right,
But if you
right,
want to
right.
take care of your health and your finances, you can channel that extra money that you have. Okay, you won't spend the money on the doctor's office.
Yeah.
You'll channel that money to paying off debt. That's right. Get out of debt. Ditch the debt. You'll have money saved for rainy days. You'll be able to manage your finances by doing a monthly budget. I call it a money plan. And then you'll be able to create wealth, create a business,
Right.
invest in the stock market, mutual funds I recommend. And then if you get enough money, you can buy a property or a digital
Right.
asset, maybe create a course. But
Right.
when you handle your finances well, and then you teach your kids how to handle your finances, you're exercising, you pass values to them that not only is money important, but so is your health. Because
Yeah.
without health, you can't have wealth. Or even if you
It's
have
true.
a lot of
Oh.
money, you'll spend all of it trying to get your health back. So don't neglect your health. Take care of your health and your wealth and pass it to your kids.
Yeah, I like what you said, the debt, because I know a lot of persons have debt, and I guess sometimes it because you see the debt, mounting up, you begin to close your eyes to the problem instead of trying to, figure out how to deal with that. But like you said, you need to address the debt first because it's going to be difficult to move forward if you're still, dealing with the debt. See what you can put in place to deal with your debt. You talk about the budget, having a budget in place. Before I used to say, man, I got it all done, but I got my mind. But it's a difference between thinking like you got like in your mind how much you spending per month. I actually write it down. You like, yeah, why really to spend so much money because your mind you thinking about like only spending $200 a month. You know what I mean? But when you begin to document, you realize, whoa, why I didn't think about this. I buy a snack there, and I start here, and I didn't include that gas that I put in the car, And when you begin to, add up and account for all the things that you spend your money on, you realize, you know what, I think I wasted my money, in this area and that area. So it's like you can't manage what you don't account for. You know what I mean? It's difficult to manage what you don't measure, and that's what they usually say. You measure it so you can manage it. And that's why, budgeting, I realize that it's not enough to have it in your head. You need to, document. And that's what person like you are there for, to help, persons to help, put those systems in place so that they can better manage their finances.
I
So
agree.
is there, yeah, exactly. So is there a way that persons can continue to connect with you? You can tell them about your socials. And I know you said you have a book out there that you have on sale. You can even also mention that as well. So you can share those details.
Yes, but first, thank you for the invitation to join your show, Charlene. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And my book is called Broke: Secret to Fix America's Financial Crisis, on my website at dakotagrady.com. And you can find me on YouTube at the Your Money Hour Show. It's HOUR Hour Show. Find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook,
Yeah.
and Fanbase.
Yeah, yeah.
And my
You're all
website
over.
is dakotagrady.com. Yeah, I'm trying to be everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. Continue to stay connected with Dakota. I know that he shares a lot of helpful information for persons like you who want to make sure that they're on top of their finance, but also on top of their health. And thanks again, Dakota, for taking the time out to share your knowledge and experience with us. So
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Thanks for your time, Charlene.
Yeah, thank you.